Today's video, we're going to talk all about how to create an automated system that's working for you 24/7 while you're sleeping, maybe at your corporate job, spending time with family. And I know that kind of sounds like too good to be true, but what I'm going to do is outline the 5 steps that you need, and then you'll be able to kind of see the vision of how we make this happen. And to be realistic, it's because of technology. It's because of the technology that we have at our fingertips that allows us to do this. And back in the day, we'd have to do everything by hand, right? You'd have to pick up the phone to call someone to make that sale. You'd have to reach out to through DMs to make that sale. We no longer have to do that. So today's video, I'll go over the 5 steps that you need in order to create that passive income, no matter what kind of product you're selling. It could be a digital product, it could be a physical product, doesn't matter. I'll go over the 5 steps. Now, before we start, a lot of these terms might be a little you may not be familiar with them, but just kind of bear with me because I'll go through it, explain everything, and then I'll give you a demo as well. And what I want you to do so you can see this system firsthand is go to the link below this video and just check it out. Check out the system after I go through these steps because you'll be able to see it. And then you can actually kind of go in and, get inspiration, get ideas and exactly what you need, to make some sales online. So let me tell you, the first time that this really hit home with me, and it was on a Tuesday. I was sitting at a corporate meeting. Actually, I was a little early for the meeting, so I was kind of like checking out my phone. And all of a sudden, when I checked my phone, I saw the email that said, "You just made a $900 commission." I was completely blown away simply because I was physically at my corporate job. I had not had time to even work my business that day, but a sale just came in of $900. $900. I didn't have to share the profits with anyone. I don't have to build a team with anyone or build a team in order to make this money. It's because of the 5 steps that I'm going to outline that enabled me to do that. And talk about financial freedom. If you could just spend an hour or two a day marketing, and, we teach all obviously how to do all that. But if you just spend 2 hours a day focusing on a business, selling whatever you want to sell, you could spend the rest of the 22 hours doing exactly what you want to do or maybe what you need to do. So if there's anything that you take away, I used to think it was about working harder or longer. When I first got online, I used to spend like 16 hours a day online on a Saturday and Sunday when I was off from my job. But if you learn this system about building, creating these systems that work for you, then that's when we can kind of step back from the actively working our business and letting our system kind of do the heavy lifting for us. So before I discovered this, I used to do everything the hard way. I was in network marketing years ago, and I used to have to cold call people. In fact, I used to go to LinkedIn and look up realtors and cold call them, try to get them involved in my network marketing company. I used to take a day off of work to do this. And I'm not a salesperson. I'm not a phone person. I don't have a marketing degree. So what the heck was I doing cold calling realtors trying to get them to join my business? And the thing is, back 15 years ago when I was doing this, we didn't have the technology that we have today. And, when I was in that business, I was consistently chasing people. Not only would I call people, but I would send like Facebook messages. And as much as my team wanted me to host home parties, yeah, that was never going to happen. And then when, I also did affiliate marketing, I was promoting other people's products for little tiny commissions. You know, it was great. Like I made some sales, but if you're making tiny commissions from those sales, you're not making much money. And, I'll go ahead and show you exactly how you can earn 100% profit from a $100, $300, $600, $900 sale that flows directly into your bank account. The reason why this works so well is when I was in network marketing, say I would cold call realtors 4 hours a day, right? So those those 20 other hours, because I wasn't actively marketing, I wasn't going to make any money. So in order for me to make a sale, I had to be physically working. But today, because we have the systems in place, it never closes. Even though we might actively work maybe 1 to 2 hours every single day, our system is out there working for us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I have videos that I created on YouTube over a year ago that still get me sales today. So we're going to break down the components of this system. And the good thing is you just have to set it up once. We give you step-by-step videos, where to click, how to click. You can rewind the videos if you need to. We also have tech support. So if you get stuck in a certain area of the video you're not understanding, we have tech support that will definitely help you out. So let me just get that. But like I said, the best part is once you get this set up, it's set up. You don't have to touch it ever again, which is pretty cool. So step one is what's called a lead magnet. And again, some of these terms are going to be a little foreign, right? But you'll be able to understand what I'm saying. So it all starts with a free offer, which is my Freedom Formula Blueprint. And it's not just some PDF, it's actually genuine value that solves a real problem for people, kind of like myself, over 40, trying to build an income online. And see what happens is when people see my content on social media, just like you're watching this video now, or maybe finds, my video in TikTok or wherever, they may not be ready to buy today, but they might be willing to give me their email address in exchange for something valuable. And that's exactly what a lead magnet does. So think of it this way. So actually I'll just show you what mine looks like. So if you click on the link below this video, you're going to see my website. And what's cool is I didn't have to create this website, which is really cool. Back in the day, 15 years ago, I did have to create this website and it was absolutely horrible. But anyway, so this is what's called a lead magnet. Okay. And the reason why we call this is because when someone puts their email address in, they get something in return. They get a free offer. They get a free tips. They get free value. So it's kind of like, when you go to the store, you make a purchase, say you're buying eggs from the store. In exchange for those eggs, you're giving money, right? So the same thing here. When you give me my email address, I'm going to send you tips on how to make money online. So it's an exchange. So step number 2, and this is actually where the magic starts, but when someone goes to this page and they actually enter in their email address, they're going to get obviously, a lot of value. And actually, let me go here. They're going to get value as well as it's going to collect a piece of, it's going to collect an email address of one of your potential customers. And when you have that, this is where literally the magic happens. Because what happens is you get their email address and they're going to, number one, receive a welcome email as well as the Freedom Blueprint formula that talks about, you know, the blueprint, the steps. It sets expectations. It's also going to contain a little bit of my story to try to build that connection, because the number one thing that is missing with a lot of marketers is they are so ready to just try to get that sale without building a connection with someone, because you cannot make a sale. I don't care what you're selling. You will not make a sale with anyone unless you build that connection first. And with this email sequence, that's going to help do that, because the reality is the first time a potential customer sees your offer, they're not going to buy, right? It might take several exposures before they even make a purchase. And in fact, there's a stat out there that it could take 7 to 10 exposures before someone decides to purchase from you. Okay. This is where that email sequence comes in, because maybe someone doesn't want to buy today, but maybe in a couple days, or a couple weeks later, they might want to buy, because you know what? Maybe they lost that job. Maybe they had some other circumstance that they need money ASAP, right? And, it's also this email sequence also helps to explain what you are selling. It helps to deliver the benefits of the product that you're selling. Again, because the more exposure, then the more chances of someone actually making a purchase. This is the page that's going to save you hours upon hours of time. Okay, so let me just I guess I had a great example, but actually, let me just pause, and we'll talk about what's called the sales page. So this is what's going to do the explaining and telling on behalf of you. So instead of you having to physically pick up the phone and talk to someone one-on-one, which is what I used to do, this sales page is going to do the selling on behalf of you. And it's ours specifically, and this is really cool. I didn't have to create this. This page, if I were to create this page on my own and hire a copywriter, a coder, all that stuff, it would literally cost thousands of dollars. But what's cool is I actually got this system for just a one-time fee of $39, which is absolutely unheard of. So what it does, it promotes your product. And so, for example, it outlines the benefits of the product. So number one, for the product that I'm promoting right now, we have 50 plus thousand members in our community. And the good thing is, if you have a question, you can ask those community members. You could put the question in the community, someone will answer it. And that's what I love, because there is that support that a lot of programs do not have. Within the first 10 months of launching this program, the company has earned, or the community has earned $29 million. $29 million. In 10 months, it's paid out. Now, $29 million has gone into people's bank accounts, and you don't have to share this with anyone, like the profits, the commissions. You don't have to share it with anyone, which is pretty cool. And then, another benefit, and again, these are just examples that if you were to create this page, this is something that you could potentially add. We also have a little program or a little course within the program that shows you how to get your investment back within 7 days. We have like a little training course, which is pretty cool. And then here are just other examples of what's on the sales page, some of the benefits. So we actually have a certification that you have to take in order to become a licensed reseller, which is pretty cool, because it gives you kind of expectations. It gives you trainings. It gives you that knowledge that you need just to be successful and to be able to talk about the products, in a good way. Some of the benefits that we have on the certification is when you decide to sell this training program, you keep 100% profit. Um, every dollar you keep every dollar that you earn. You don't have to create a product. Okay. So this product specifically is selling a training program. Okay. So you have a couple options. Number one, if you have something already that you want to sell, you can use the training in our program to help you sell that product. Simple as that. But there are a lot of people that they don't have a product to sell, but they know they want to make money online. They just don't know what to sell. You can sell one of our 4 done for you digital programs. And when you make a sale, you will be able to earn 100% of that profit. So we have 4 digital programs, a 100, 300, 600, 900. And they're all based on kind of what you're looking for in a business. If you go down the sales page, you'll be able to see the benefits of each one. And then all you have to do is just select the one that works best for you, the one that makes sense for you. And what I love about the sales page too, it addresses the most common concerns. It goes over the pricing, the guarantees, and explains the benefits of the program in this case. So if you were to, have sell a vitamin, you would want your sales page to go over the benefits of this product as well as the price. But most importantly, it is the page that does the selling. So then you don't have to. So kind of, talked about this earlier, but then the last step is a follow-up system. So now that we have gotten the email address of a potential client, then we want to follow up with them because again, not everyone's going to buy, as soon as they see your offer, and that's totally normal. So my system actually does the follow-up with people that didn't initially buy, just providing more value, giving them, multiple opportunities to join when they're ready. And you know what? If they go through all the information and maybe they don't like what they see, there's a little unsubscribe button. They could click on that and they won't receive any more emails, which I think is cool because, not everyone wants a business and, you know, not everyone's going to join every business, right? So if it's not for them, that's totally cool. So a typical day with what we call our freedom machine is if I'm sleeping and someone finds my content on YouTube, TikTok, wherever, and they click on my link, they join my email, then they'll automatically receive my blueprint. And, whether it's that night or maybe a couple days later, maybe a couple weeks later, or even a couple months later, they decide to join. Again, I don't have to pick up the phone. They can just go ahead and join. And that's how it works. It's your job with this business is just marketing. Getting people to your website. That is the number one, that is your only goal. Once you get people to that website, the system and the 5 steps that are already covered take over, and that allows you the freedom to do whatever you want to do for the 22 hours a day that you're not working your business. So, you can make, $900 sales without having to get on the phone, send a personal message, follow up manually. And most importantly, you do not have to pressure anyone or convince anyone, which is what I love. The system is doing all the work for you. It's educating the prospect. It's building the connection with someone. It's presenting the offer. And most importantly, it's closing the sale. And this is absolutely perfect for people that are over 50 because our brains, kind of a little slower, right? Um, so it might take a little little bit to catch on to things. But that's what I love because, we may not be as quick as we used to be, and we may not pick up things as quickly as we used to. And, you know, people actually prefer this approach simply because, we don't want to be pressured to sell, and we want a system that's simple. It's simple to put together, it's simple to market, and the way that we have things structured, it's a simple business. It's not easy because, working a business every single day isn't easy, especially at our age, because we have kids, we have our aging parents, we have a job, we have stresses, right? So it's not easy to physically work every day because those random things kind of happen in our life. But it's a simple business for people over 50 to be able to latch onto and to be able to create success. And that's one of the reasons why I love this community, is because a lot of people are over 40, like a lot of people that are having success. And I think that's pretty cool. Now, one thing you might be concerned about is the technical stuff, right? As I mentioned before, we do have a tech team that will support you, answer your questions, but all of this website stuff is already pre-built. We give you step-by-step videos that you can rewind, you can go at your own pace, and it's literally you follow the video and you can connect everything together, which I think is pretty cool. And again, there's 24/7 support, which a lot of companies you will not find 24/7 support like that. So this makes us different because, unlike affiliate marketing or network marketing, you own the entire business. You have control, which is huge, because I've been in 2 network marketing companies that I built a residual income and they decided to change the comp plan. Another one decided to just get out of business, and my residual income, one of them went to 0 because they were out of business, and 2, it decreased heavily. But this is your business, you're in control. You're gonna learn skills that you will be able to sell any kind of product that you want. And it's true passive income because we're gonna teach you marketing skills, how to get your, um, you know, y your presence out there on social media, and then people will see your stuff, they'll go to your website, and then the process starts, which is really cool. So here's like a typical day. Maybe you wake up in the morning and there are some sales notifications that come in overnight. So what is that? That's making money in your sleep, which is pretty cool. Maybe midday, you're spending time with family, or in my case, you're, maybe working your 9 to 5. And then in the evening, maybe you want to create a couple pieces of content on social media to help promote your business. And then there's, weekend, you can enjoy yourself, you can travel, you can obviously also do, create more content to feed your business so that you are consistently working your business, therefore, hopefully consistently getting that passive income. And then here are just a couple testimonials. Cecilia, another $900 day while taking a nap. Christy's second $900 sale this week, and she's 67 years old. 67 years old. And then Carrie on a Monday earned $2,700. So a lot of common concerns that people might have is, you know, do people actually buy without talking to someone? Is it impersonal? And people actually prefer this approach because who wants to get on the phone anymore? Especially with texting and stuff like that, it's so much easier just to text someone and then get an answer back as opposed to physically pick up the phone. And think about it this way: if you were to make a purchase on Amazon, would you make that purchase if you had to physically pick up the phone and call? I don't know. It's just so easy to go online, make a purchase, and then be done with it. And then, another concern, do I need to quit my job? I personally still work my 9 to 5. I do some content creation in the morning, some at lunch, some in the evening. And so it's cool. I don't have to sit down and 1 2 hour block. I can break it up throughout the day. And that's just what works for me. So you just have to find what works for you. We have stay at home moms, we have people that work 9 to 5, and it just works. The flexibility is cool. And then, what if I'm not a good writer? The best part is our email follow-up system are provided for you. You just kind of have to add your personal story. So you really don't even need any writing skills at all, because most of that stuff is already done for you. You just have to customize it. So if you want to see exactly the system that I have, what you want to do, oh, I got rid of it, but go to the link in the description below and you'll be able to see everything that I outlined in this video. And if you sell a product that you definitely want to mirror what I have, and definitely make sure you grab that Freedom Formula Blueprint. It's completely free. And of course, it talks about, exactly what I went over in today's video. And you know what? I'm 53 years old. I'm ready to stop trading time from money and start building a business that works for me 24/7. And if you're interested in that, make a comment below, go to my link, put in your email address so you could see kind of how this process works. If you have any questions, you're going to receive an email. And of course, it might go into spam first. But if you have any questions, just reply to that email and I'm going to personally reply to you. And then you can also, if you want, you can also put a comment below in this video. Now, my next video, I'm going to show you exactly how I drive traffic to this system without spending a dime on advertising. So make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. And if I do this right, hopefully, if I've already created the video, you'll see it somewhere along here. But yeah, we have a marketing system in place where we have 0 marketing costs. So if you want to check that out, check out that video and you see all about it.